welcome to another episode of Junkyard Digs. Today you join me, the rest of the crew, and this 1968 GTO Judge in a barn somewhere in North Iowa. And today we're going to haul this sucker out of here and see if we can get it running and driving once again. Angus, what'd you do to the door? You're supposed to open it.
Oh, sorry. Wrong button.
Alright, finally, this thing is unveiled. If you guys saw a previous video on the channel, you know that we recently bought a bunch of cars on an abandoned farm in North Iowa, and we have spent the last 3 days hauling GTOs, Le Manses, and all sorts of parts off this property, and the last one to go is this guy right here, which is the most complete car and the one that we want to spend some time on right away and try to make it run. Let's go check this thing out. Alright, so I said 68 in the intro. I did not mean that. It's a 69. I know that much. There's no wing window. Ooh, she's got hood scoopies. That's a good hood. This is arguably the straightest, cleanest car on the property. We do suspect it's not a real Judge. I can't imagine there would be one here. Although there was a Ram Air 3 car on the property. That does not say 242. This is likely a Le Mans.
Sad now.
But regardless, it's still pretty cool looking.
It's pretty cool looking.
Back in the day, Tom actually knew this guy, and he said that his cousin sold the car to someone else, and it actually wound up T-boning a car that this guy had a couple weeks later, which was a supposedly real deal 69 GTO Judge. So I imagine this was built as a clone of that, or seeing that we've pulled enough parts off this property to build 3 orange cars, they were all clones of that. I don't know, it's hard to say. Ooh, this thing is a 4-speed and a bench seat, so yeah, definitely a Le Mans. And it is covered in poop. I mean, covered in poop.
Great news. It has a wang.
Ooh, bad news, the rear valance is missing.
Oh.
Usually we, work on cars in this scenario in an old barn to get them going, but this thing is a death hazard with all the poop around, and it's, 23 degrees outside, yeah. Plus, this place is going up for sale soon, and we were brought in to get all the cars off the property. So let's hook the chain up to this sucker and get it drug out of here, put it in the trailer, and go to where it's warm.
Yes, it deserves a nice warm place to be worked on, and we deserve to have a nice warm place to work on it. Classic GM hood hinges.
It looks the part.
We're about to wash all the potential off this, aren't we?
Oh, absolutely. This is probably worth something right now, especially with the VIN was still covered in mud. But the more mud we take off, the less valuable it's going to be. Oh, you think it's in gear?
Ooh, maybe. Oh, it stinks!
Yeah, it stinks so bad. Oh.
Ew!
Yeah. Horrible.
It's in neutral. I hated that.
Oh yeah, look at that. There's a 350 Le Mans badge right under the Judge. You got a Sharpie? We should put quotes on that.
I don't have one on me. We'll do it when we get back to the shop where it's heated and warm and not frozen and dirty.
It sure fits the part. I think he did maybe use all the parts from his totaled car.
These might be actually off a Judge.
Yeah, I think so, because those would be the easiest to change. You can't change the quarter.
It is getting worse. Push it back in. Our views are going down.
It's got a real GTO grill and badges and lights and the valence. And tell you what, it will be the cheapest way for me to ever own a 4-speed Judge.
That's true. That's fair.
Because it isn't, damn, if it doesn't look kind of like one from afar.
50-footer going 100 mile and over a bridge, never tell.
Hey, this is a drum car. Oh, my knees.
You know it, brother. It's a drum car.
Oh, God. This
Nice
thing.
judge, dude.
This thing is rice through and through. What's the interior quality? Oh, boy, man.
Oh, my God.
This might be one of the stinkiest cars we've ever brought home.
Dude, even the ashtray's rusty.
John Deere. Oh, where's the rest of it? Well, there it is, the world's most poop-covered barn find Judge that the internet's ever seen. Look at it, used to have a big long word back here.
Le Mans Uber Base TM. Not a judge.
Oh! I was gonna say, what in the hell are the odds that we can get in the trunk? But there's a key in the trunk.
I don't think we was gonna do it.
Oh, the taillights!
A carpetator.
Dude,
timing
score!
The PBR. Mouse edition.
A brick!
We can leave this, right?
An actual brick.
Dang.
Yeah, I think this is, oh, wait, we pulled off a bunch of red parts off this property, didn't we?
Oh, that's what this
This
car
is
used
the
to
red
be.
Le Mans. Okay, so these are probably real Pontiac Judge parts on this. Yeah, this is an original GM wing. So, well, we got half a Judge, the front and back half.
You have the spirit of a judge.
Yes, that's
And
true.
a pile of rat poop.
All right, let's get this sucker on the trailer and get the hell out of here.
This is the coolest piece of shit we've ever had in here.
All right, here it is in the shop. The Judge is just as you saw it. So much so that it's still on the trailer because it's frozen to it. Because it's like -8 outside. And all the tires are super flat and we can't get it off. So I'm just going to throw some rims on this sucker that we had laying around so we can unload this and get it in the bay and start working on this sucker. It's going to be facing the wrong way.
Yep, and I'm not willing to take the time outside to turn it around.
Nope, me either. Plus, we don't have any brakes or anything. So it is going to still be barn find level revival to try to get this thing to run as is with a oil jug or whatever for a fuel system to get it to run, drive outside, turn around, and then pull in as if we were pulling into the shop for the first time. So let's get these old tires off. Man, you telling me those didn't take air?
Well, one of them did for a little bit, and then it unfroze from the trailer, but it pulled a bit of the rubber while it was pulling off the trailer, and then it popped.
Look at that original Pontiac rim.
Or the original Pontiac tire.
Straight to the scrap.
It's a Firestone.
Look at that, a drum Judge. There were definitely signs that this car was not a Judge, to include the stickers in the wrong spot. It's supposed to be over there.
Ta-da.
It's a shame they're not 15s or 17s, because for once, I don't hate those on a car. Alright, there we go. Delivery, one quote-unquote Judge. Perfect.
Almost like we meant to do that.
Alright, let's see if we can get this sumbitch running. Is it that stuck? Holy hell. Okay, hold up right there for a sec. Oh, there's like a freaking nest of crap in here. I can't even really get this in.
Yep, it's upper.
Maybe we just take the hood off? You know what? Hang on. We might be way ahead of ourselves. We don't even know if that motor spins.
It's never been a better time to find out.
Yeah.
It is not stuck.
Holy crap, it spins.
I thought for sure it was going to snap one
Me
of these
too.
belts. Oh, those
Wow.
belts are crunchy.
That's actually pretty free.
It is.
Oh yeah.
So that'll run.
Yeah, 4-barrel quadrijet. That'll run perfect. Doesn't care.
Huh.
I don't know anything about this motor. I just know that this car is not a GTO. It's a Le Mans.
I think we could take a guess, seeing as this is a drum brake car.
Yeah.
This is probably a 350.
See, that's where I'm going with this. I don't think that's the original motor.
Oh.
Because why would a drum brake Le Mans come with a 4-barrel and chrome valve covers? Chrome valve covers were a factory option on GTOs.
Oh, you're right.
Now he could have swapped intakes and everything, but if we get a, oh no, I see a WT down here actually. I believe this really is a 4-speed 400 like GTO motor.
Oh.
Throw a battery in it, see what happens.
Yep. Okay, so there's no magic smoke yet.
Okay, do we have any power? We got nothing whatsoever. Access granted. Alright, we've been playing with wiring for a couple minutes. Angus and his vast genius realized that, well, the entire main harness was unplugged. So
I wouldn't talk about my vast genius on TV.
by plugging that sucker in, we suddenly have no power in the cab, but the key does make the starter chatter for a split second.
It does. Oh wow, this is really corrody.
So yeah, we're going to clean that up and see what happens. Good for 800 amps.
800? I don't know about 800. 8 amps? Any day.
Positive. Yeah, it's that one.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I wonder how much crap was in the bell housing that we just sent through the starter teeth.
Cleaning it. It's called abrasion cleaning.
I can't believe that actually spun. It quickly went to 0, but whatever. It's got oil.
Why is this oil rusty?
Here, cylinders breathe the distant essence of WD-40.
There's a very low likelihood that this engine is like good.
It's a Pontiac. What's Dalton always say? You can't kill Pontiacs.
I think our battery's just it's building compression.
Well, we can try different batteries.
I think that's a plan.
It's a Caterpillar on it.
No, it just says cat. Our marking says it tested 978 cold cranking amps. So if this doesn't do it, we know we have another issue. Slash, we'll find where the fire's going to start, and I think it's this wire that doesn't have any insulation on it.
You know, I'm noticing some things. Radiator hose is off. Heater core hoses are off. Voltage regulator, ignition thing, whatever the hell this guy is up here, and the main harness was all unplugged. I wonder if he was still in the process of building this and just stopped.
I would stop too if it was this covered in poop.
I don't think it was when he stopped. Okay, well, she spins. Sand the points.
Sand the points. Ah, I put my elbow in the poop.
I think everything is the poop.
Yeah, but not my elbow.
Alright, I've got ourselves a little wire here. We got hot wired to the positive side of the coil. Angus is sanding the points. Hopefully those are good to go.
They're cleaner than they were, and they were not clean.
You have 12 volts at the coil, sir. Oh, you do?
I do.
Sweet. You have 12 volts at your points? You
Yes.
do? Okay. Points are working. Let's fix some broken plug wires that I know we have, and then hit this with some brake clean. Go for it. Good chance our rings and everything are very dry, and we probably should have oiled the motor first, but I'm in a hurry because I gotta edit. Come on, you big son of a bitch. You can do it. Edit. She's got two trying, it seems like. Oh, she's thirsty. Okay. Come on.
Alright, we lost continuity.
Oh, something's on fire over here. There we go.
That's better.
Yeah, you got anything now?
Yeah, I also can't turn it off.
Dude, look at that. It just sprung right to life.
That was weird. That's cool as hell though.
Go for it. Hit it again. There. Let's say that might have been. Go for it. Come on, girl. Yeah. Valves have seen better days. There's so much shit in my eye. Big poop. Big smoky poops. Alright, I say we hook up a fuel system and see what the hell it does. This might literally leave the shop under its own power.
That would be really cool.
Alright, got ourselves a bucket plumbed up here for fuel. And now we have a much smaller bucket to catch whatever comes out of the pump so we can flush out the first bits.
What color do you think this goo is going to be?
I have no idea. Probably pretty dark at first. We'll see if our pump works. Pump works. Damn, that pump works good. It's actually not that far off of the color stuff I put in. As you can see, it did flush a bunch of crap out, so I'm glad we caught that, and we should maybe even consider putting a pump or a filter right before that
inlet?
Yeah. Alright, we're currently in the process of getting a new fuel line with a filter on here to catch all that crap. Just now I decided to take a moment and look for some vacuum leaks, and I found this on the back, which was hanging off of what would have been a brake booster line port back here. But this car has manual brakes. Pretty much would have never ran with that unhooked. So I think that kind of confirms that this engine, I don't think has ever driven this car. I think he was trying to rebuild this into his Judge and got the motor and stuff in, but never finished. All right, let's get a fuel filter in here and see if it idles. Need a fuel filter?
Yeah.
There you go.
Thanks.
Need a fuel filter? Need a fuel filter?
Ah! Where do we get all these fuel filters?
China! Okay, fuel system is plumbed up, and I fixed that giant vacuum leak. There's an actually decent chance this thing sits here and idles just fine. Got a set of plugs and wires around here we throw in this thing.
I think we do.
It runs very, very inconsistently. Yeah, you can hear it popping and spitting and picking up cylinders. And I bet if we throw a set of plugs in this, it would actually run pretty good.
I wonder if this has an oil gauge.
Oh yeah, this surely doesn't have full instrumentation.
No, it's got an oil gauge. It does have a tach.
Holy shit, seriously, this has full instrumentation? Is this a rally pack dash? No dude, this is a rally pack. Holy shit. It's got temp, oil pressure, fuel level, generator light, and then a tach. Damn! And a 4-speed, and a WT. So basically all the good parts shoved into a Le Mans. This is a perfect Judge for me to own, because I would never own a real one. They're expensive, and I'm a cheap ass.
Yeah, you are.
Alright, results are in. They're pretty carboned up. Not horrible, but there's a bit of buildup on them, so we'll change them out. More importantly, we have new plug wires off the Bonneville from when we rebuilt that, so should have everything we need here. We'll slap that on and see how she does. Find something?
Sure did.
Got a pack of 8 R45S's. I don't know. I pulled up Butler Performance, the leader in Pontiac parts for engines and stuff, and I was looking through, and yeah, it seems like any plug that goes in is going to work for what we're doing. It'll be better than what's in there, I'll tell you that, because looking at these side by side, you may notice the gap on the new plug, much tighter than the old plug. That old plug is pretty worn out. You can see the radius on the right side there. So yeah, probably a pretty high mile motor.
High mile plugs for sure. Okay.
Well,
good luck.
Yeah, good luck in there, little buddies. You know, as is tradition, it's never usually the plugs causing a problem. It's usually the wires and cap and rotor and points and stuff. And yeah, I'd say this one had an issue. Get her out.
It sure did, but these threads look different.
Yeah, those will see better days.
I've pulled a couple of plugs out of this motor that are kind of flattening the threads. You know what? It's like NPT threading. It seals on the threads.
I don't know if he switched over the whole cluster or just put the tach and 2 side pods in, but that odometer says 187,000. All right, new plugs and wires. Let's see what it does.
Contact.
tick on this side.
Weird.
Pontiacs are pretty well known for wiping cam lobes, so we probably have a wiped cam lobe. Well, now that we know that runs absolutely flawless, I'm going to put some coolant in it. Found some used stuff laying around. Looks like it'll do just fine in here. Got some hose clamps on the hoses and everything. It should be set. I'll fill this up, and then I think it's time to pull this sucker outside for a bath.
I agree. It's stinky and dirty.
You are not wrong. What are the odds the clutch works?
0.
Let's find out. All right, place your bets, Goose. We're both betting no clutch.
Oh yeah, 1000% no way this works.
But is it going to be thrust bearing froze to the input shaft, or pressure plate froze to the flywheel?
I think it's going to be pressure plate froze to the flywheel.
I hope it's that one. That one's arguably easier.
It's looking like flywheel because my pedal works.
I can hear it, yeah. Fire it up, see if you got a clutch. I don't know if that's first or reverse. Probably first.
No, it looks like reverse. Goodbye, all those cabinets behind me. Let's start with second or fourth, just to see. Clutch is all the way down.
Nothing?
Nothing.
So I assume what just happened was we pushed the thrust bearing forward. And it just stayed. It just rusted right there. Well, shit. Now we got it running for no reason. We still have to push it. Huh. Oh,
there's
wait.
a gear.
What? Why? What?
That must not have been in a gear. Okay, well, my clutch is all the way in and I'm still moving, so we're back to...
It doesn't work but the original way. Alright, go for a lower gear, see if you can just bump it outside. Go for it. Wow. Hell of a starter on that thing. What was that, like fourth?
No, this was first.
Why is it so fast? Oh, now it works.
Guess who just joined the chat? The clutch works.
When he cranked it, it must have snapped it free from the flywheel.
Yep. This thing is the best car we've ever had.
There you go. Back all the way up and do it again. God damn it. On the concrete. You just filled the whole shop with rocks.
Oh, who would ever do that?
Link just bound up.
Yeah, I can't shift it into any gear now.
Yeah, they seem to do that.
Sad now. This is the worst car we've ever had.
It's spun the tires.
Yeah.
That's good enough. Bath time. Cars that gets uglier when we have it clean, isn't it?
Yeah, we're washing all the potential off.
Ah, damn it, I hate that. But it's different.
It sure is. You wiped all the potential right off the thing.
Ah! So much for a cinematic entry. Mission successful.
This thing tastes funny.
Oh, dude, I'm noticing more and more clues that we missed.
This door card is a different color.
Yeah, that black door card that says GTO and the white interior.
Yeah.
Dig into the interior and completely remove it.
Yes.
All right, time now for the real shitty part. Ready for this?
Yep.
I can't see.
You look silly.
It covered everything but my mouth.
Hi, Mom.
It is now time to strip this entire interior. This seat's heavy. I know. I can't see. It's poking me in the eyes. Oh boy. All sorts of goodies in here. Like a whole nother car. Again. Hancock County for 1981. I'm going to go on a limb and say this is... Ooh, wait. Where'd that registration go? Oh, it's right here. Here, look at the plate number on that. I bet you that's this one. I bet that's a GTO. We don't even have that car, actually.
CNH 179.
Yep, that was a GTO. That's a 242 VIN on that. So this stuff is at least from a real GTO. We've got the plate for that car. Probably the gauges. Definitely the door skins. The drive line. The center hump. I don't know what else. Honestly, this all looks like stuff that came off the Le Mans, because this is a Le Mans front light. So looks like this car is actually holding all its original interior bits and pieces inside. Oh, and an 8-track. 2 of them.
Who is that? You must remember these, Volume 2. Scotch 98 track. Oh, this is a record your own. So this guy was a counterfeiter.
So much random hardware. Here's a U-joint strap.
Look at this stick. The mice in this car must have been moonlighting as beavers. They've been gnawing on it. That's incredible. We're keeping this stick. Give me.
It's actually not in bad shape.
Oh, it's in bad smell, I can tell you that.
Yeah, you ain't wrong.
Oh, nice mouse house on the back side.
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah. There's plenty of that to go around. Leave that over there. Come here, buddy. Oh, it's not that heavy. I feel shorter. It's actually not that heavy. Not heavy enough to make this thing squat like it is.
79 truck plate. Is that a matching 79 truck plate? Hey, 6086.
Oh, but of course the squiggly makes scringold.
We found the mother nest.
Whoa.
Look at the size of that thing.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
All right. All that's left now is carpet and mesothelioma. Yummy. Hate to be the garbage man in this town. Well, actually, that'd probably be a much healthier job.
That is
Insulting.
remarkably solid right up until there.
And it's really not that bad. Funny enough, the Le Mans part of this car, the tub, is way more solid than the car that was bolted to it. Fenders and everything got a lot of rust in them. This doesn't. Yum. Headliner time.
There's a... What would Tom say at a time like this? Oh, I know what he'd say. This stinks!
Actually, he'd probably be smarter than us. He'd say something like this. Hey, why don't you have a mask on?
You know, I can't help but notice he's not here. So he is smarter than us.
I don't know how well you guys can see because it's become what we call the big dark, but this floor is in magnificent shape. With that, we're going to get the garden hose out and spray this into the wee night hours, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Well, assuming I survive, we'll see you tomorrow. Wish me luck.
Hello everybody, it's been a couple days since we last rinsed the car out. We brought it inside to thaw out since it immediately got cold that night, and since then it's been waiting for us in the shop. Alright, just upon initial inspection, everything that we rinsed came out pretty good, nothing really stank, except for we forgot about the mouse nest that was in the glove box. Emptied that out, cleaned the glove box, put it away from the car, still stank in here, so I went ahead and removed all the HVAC under the dash, which was not much. This car is just set up for heat, interestingly enough. And with that, I think we found the remainder of our stinky, because this is all, yeah, it's pretty good. Oh yeah, that was stank. I bet that door doesn't open or close either. One more thing to clean, I suppose. Once I get this airbox cleaned up, I can go ahead and start wiping down everything with soapy water, start reassembling the interior, because, well, it's not a lot of fun, and I'm ready to be done with it.
There's less dash in it, that's for sure. You must have found a bunch of nests.
I did, and there's more yet to come. Turns out the backside of the dash, still full of poop. So the whole dash gets to come out. Like the pad, the instruments, everything has to come out.
You've already got it loose.
Yeah, it's almost loose. All I have left is to disconnect the instrumentation, which was already half done. So no wonder we didn't have any power in the cab. All the wires aren't connected.
So this thing probably never drove.
No, definitely not. We were the first ones to drive this car with that driveline.
As far as rust and stuff goes, we got a little bit. We could probably patch this stuff up in the interior, you think?
I think we can, and I think it's definitely worth it.
I mean, I did hop on Rock Auto last night and bought a bunch of interior stuff, so this thing's going to be really nice on the inside.
Yeah, and you'd hate to have to take all that out
Yeah,
again.
there's no way we're going to want to pull that all back up to fix this later. So I think we're going to put some time into patching the holes in the floor pan. As for back here, we've got a pretty decent hole in this side of the trunk, and a bit going on over there. So,
I mean, we could fix that at any time.
that's true. You could have a full interior in this car and put a trunk in it any day.
Yeah.
This is clearly going to be more than one video, but for this one, I think we're just focused on figuring out what we have, which we've done, getting it running, which we've done, getting it clean, which we've half
Started.
done. Yep. And then driving it around and saying that we can put this car back on the road and seeing that it's worth it. Let's patch a floor, put some stuff in it.
Oh my god, we're doing body work.
Yeah, I'll get the self-tappers.
Here we go. Come on, you. Dramatic. Anyway, here's the dash. I've removed it so that I can properly clean it inside and out because the backside here, well, let's just say I need to wash these pants twice. It is gross. With that, let's see what's left of the interior of this car. Alright, with the dash removed, we can see that there is quite a bit of insulation left that probably just needs to get ripped out. Like even our firewall covering is just disgusting and sticky and smelly, so I'm gonna go ahead and rip all the remaining insulation off, clean it all down, and just de-germ the entire underdash, like everything on the cowl. Just clean it because it stinks. And we're putting nice interior in, so we might as well give it our best shot. But for the most part, this car is completely gutted. I've got a handful of other trim items like the sail panels and some seat belts that still need to come out because they also stink. But yeah, once we get all those pulled, I'll de-germ everything. Soapy water, scrub brushes, all that good stuff. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be so good because it smells so good in here.
Oh yeah.
Get out of my ship.
Look at all that poop. Yummy. Hey, what happened to the dash?
It looks like somebody went at it with a death wheel.
And they bent the shit out of it too. Are they modifying it to fit the dash pad that was in it? I thought it would have been the same. We know that the chassis, this part's a 69, that was 68. Because the wing windows are different, but that's part of the door.
Yeah, and the doors are very potentially replaced. What does the VIN tag say?
Alright, Google agrees. This is a 1968 Le Mans. So that's why they had to cut the dash, because the dash and the 68 and 69 are different.
Yeah, that would do it.
Alright, well, I think this is going to keep scrubbing for a very long time. In about 3 business days, we'll be back and hopefully it won't stink.
Hopefully I won't stink either.
Yeah, that'd be a change. Holy hell, you've got some crap out of this. I thought I had most of it, but apparently not even close.
Yeah, I don't know where it all came from. I never saw it come out, but evidently it was there.
Yeah, there's a bunch. It smells a little better inside. Welcome to my favorite place to be, underneath the dash. Even though there's not much of a dash this time, I still found a way to have to climb underneath. There's been some stink remaining in the car, despite Angus having soaped everything down, so we're trying to figure out what that was. And we decided to pull the kick panels, which is one thing we missed. And yep, found it. It is just completely full of crap back in that windshield cowl drain. So get that vacuumed out, soap all that down, scrub it up, and then I think we're probably gonna come through with some paint. Get all this stuff up in here touched up, give it a fresh coat of paint. That'll help with the smell as well. And then I think we should be good to start reassembling metalwork, and then interior.
Yes.
Well, this is convenient. Tom, how would you fix that?
I'd take it to Dalton and get some zip screws.
That was our first guess.
That was on the list.
And there is more spots now that I see it dry.
Yeah, there's pinholes here, there, and every which way.
They make patch panels, right?
Yeah, but the shitty part is it's like you can get the front pan and then you can get the rear pan,
Yep.
or you get the whole side pan, and they
Yeah.
are very different prices for all
Yeah.
of those. $200 is just the front pans. If you want the whole thing, it's like $1,100 for the whole pan.
Oh, that's not as reasonable.
No,
It sounds
Right,
crazy, but if you got a hood or a door with some good sheet metal on it, there's something about the sheet metal they use that's more malleable than a lot of that crap you buy.
Well, it's
easier
all-
to bend.
it was all stamped, so I
Yeah,
guess
I,
the metal
something
type.
about the chemical makeup of the way they did their sheet metal is designed to be
All right, well,
formed better. So if you got an old hood or something. My buddy hit the car that I think a lot of these parts are off of. I think he was headed west on the blacktop, and the other guy was headed east on the blacktop and turned right in front of him, and he T-boned him, and I think he got him in the right door and quarter. I don't remember seeing this car, but I obviously familiar with the other car, and it was hurt. I can't believe neither of those guys got hurt in that
kidding.
wreck.
The
The
door.
other car was a 68 Merc Park Lane or something.
so you got hit by
Four-door.
you got hit by an aircraft carrier.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
I think that's probably our next task. Let's go dig through the scrap pile, see what we can find. Okay, so it's been a couple weeks,
I think so.
at least. We've been really busy. We have filmed the Wrangler, Willie's Jeep truck,
Yeah.
the IDI trip to the UP. We've been quite busy doing all that, and it has now snowed. What better time to work on a Judge than when there's 4 inches of snow outside? We have our interior fully clean and finally all prepped to start going back together, minus a little body work, and that is what Angus is going to be starting whilst I'm editing the IDI episode today. He's going to dig into our big patches that we need here, there, a thin one there, a thin one here, and 2 more over there. With that done, we can lay all the carpet and new stuff in here and never have to tear it back out, even if this car goes through a full restoration process, because this section in here is all sealed and done. You can pop the doors off, you can pop the front clip off, you can pop the body off, and you will never have to touch the interior. That's the plan, anyway.
That's the thought.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna turn you guys loose with Angus here, and wish you all the best. Good luck with dealing with this guy. All right, you guys are in charge.
What? All right, we were here on the driver's side, and as you can see, we've got our big holes under the seat that go into our floor supports. We also have a little bit of holes and pretty weak metal on our floorboards up front. So we're gonna cut this all out and replace it with, magical mystery steel. I've already Sharpied out a boxed in area where I would like to get rid of the old metal. So for shapes like this, I'm not sure how well you can tell on camera, but it's got a lot of slopes to it. It's a very even stamping and very smooth transitions. I don't know that we're going to be able to exactly replicate that with patch panels that we just bend ourselves, but we're going to try. This is all under carpet. Generally, it'll be okay. Meanwhile, over here on the pinch weld lines for the cab support, we're going to have to take a little bit of a different route. I tried to avoid as many of these spot welds, these original spot welds, as I could, just because those are a lot of strength in the car. Those are what keep the floor from rattling, as well as keep it connected to that sub-support that's right under the floor, under the seat. So I've tried to avoid as many as I can. However, a lot of them are so rusty that they need to come out so I can clean up the rust jacking on that support. That's my thought process. That's what I'm planning to do. I have pretty limited metalworking experience, but I've got enough to be dangerous. It's really not all that tough. It just, you got to take your time and plan ahead, which is not my forte, so this will be fun. I guess we start cutting. All right, no turning back now. We have our first purposeful hole in the car. Let's go ahead and get the rest of this thing zinged apart and start making some patches. We've got most of the floor cut out here on the driver's side. I'm doing one side at a time, just like we do brakes. That way I can reference the other side and the contours that go with it just to make sure I get pretty close with all of our patch panels. So I'm going to go through with this grinder, and I'm going to take down any spot welds or any raised points on a support that needs to be, you know, lowered. This will just help the patch panels sit in there a little more flush, not to mention give us a better surface to weld to. I found our floor. I'll give you 10 guesses what this off of.
I'm going to guess the $50 Eagle from years ago.
You'd be right, because it is.
Well, good luck.
I made it. All right, got all of our grinding done on all of our spot welds. They're all cleaned up and flush, so we're ready to put metal in at any point. Now, it's time for some arts and crafts. Got our handy piece of cardboard here that I stole out of the dumpster, and we're going to start cutting out shapes. You can use cardboard to make a template, you can use paper. Construction paper is probably one of the better options, to be truthful, but this is what we have. Essentially, you're going to pick out what hole you want to fill, what hole you want to make a template for, and you're going to cut a big piece that's loosely that size, but bigger. Beautiful. And essentially, this is going to be me trimming slowly away at the edges of this piece of cardboard until it matches this irregularly shaped hole. Now I want my template to be as accurate as possible while also acknowledging that the piece of metal I cut out of our scrap for a patch is going to be bigger than this template. I want to have extra material that I can cut away slowly and trim it into place so that it fits just right. What we're going for here is we're going to butt weld our patch panels in so they don't overlay anything. We're going to go edge to edge and tack them in with the MIG welder. For what we're doing here, let's be clear, we're not going for a showroom finish. We're going for holds water out of the car and essentially prolongs the life of this floor. We just don't want it to get worse. That's really all we're doing. With that in mind, I'm going to start cutting willy-nilly until this piece of cardboard looks like this hole. Yep. So it looks like the hole already. All right, just like that, with a little bit of movie magic, we have a template. I almost said perfect template, but that would be a lie. Now, whenever you make a template, whether it be out of cardboard, paper, whatever, you want to make sure that you can get it to conform to all the rolled edges and shapes that you need the final piece of metal to fit into. That will affect your overall dimensions of the flat steel that you cut out. So it's important to be able to like roll this cardboard over edges like on the back here and roll it down into the footwell. Now, with that said, I need to flatten this all the way out and take it over to our piece of scrap metal and trace it out. Now, if you have contours in whatever piece of metal you're trying to replace, it's good to look on your workpiece for similar contours like bends or hard body lines that you could potentially use to your advantage. That's one less thing you might have to bend into shape. I know that this piece needs to be bent down, and I know that this needs to be bent up like this to a certain degree. I do notice that there's a nice smooth transition radius right here towards the front of the hood. So I think I can pretty easily factor that into my template and use that for where it planes out on top going to the rocker panel near the door. I know we're going to need to do some trimming on this piece, so it's not a big deal. Wow, that is really wiggly. Ta-da! Cool, there's our piece of metal. We got a little bit of glue to get off on the backside and a little bit of reshaping to do, but let's see if we can fit it in the car, you know, kind of.
God damn, look at that, you made a thing.
I did make a thing. Hell, it almost might work.
It might almost work.
This right here is the best joint I've got, so I think I'm going to base all my bends and trimming off of this right here. So this is mostly fine. I can fill that just fine if I trim a little here. And then I need to bend this edge down and bend those edges up and trim a little here, trim a little there. It's going to be a lot of trimming. You know, maybe I should have started with a flat piece and a small piece like this.
Just go for the complicated one right away?
Yeah, I really did go for the biggest, most complicated piece. No, maybe that's that, or that. I cut a lot of holes in this car.
It's going to be pretty damn good. I'm very impressed with that.
It'll either work or it won't. There'll be a lot of massaging. If you've got like an anvil or a vise at home, That'll be really good for bending and hammering on, as well as you can stick corners in the vise and just like bend the whole sheet over.
Yeah, or your local railroad.
Or your local railroad, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Take it down to the track, start whacking on the tracks, but if the tracks start vibrating, you should probably run away.
Unless you need it to be straight again.
Yeah, if you need it straight and way thin, just like leave it on the track, like a penny. No, that's illegal. That's very illegal. No trespassing.
Yeah, what you want to do is go cut 6 inches out of the track and then just take that back to the shop where it's safe.
Yes, that makes the best anvil. Or you can take it to a body shop and none of this matters and spend 30 grand.
Back tomorrow?
Back tomorrow. I'm so tired.
We all got COVID, by the way.
Oh yeah, we're sick, so
yeah. Struggling
cover your
through this
face,
one.
otherwise I'm going to cough at the camera. Look out, I'm going to lick the lens. They're going to all get COVID.
Alright, back tomorrow. Honey, I'm home.
What do you want?
What's for supper, honey?
How's about an oddly shaped piece of metal?
That sounds perfect.
Does it?
What in the hell is that?
It's me, Mario.
What have you done?
I'm here to screw up your timeline for this video. You're welcome.
Oh my god.
Actually, my trimmer went dead right about here. I walked into the gas station up the street, and the two dudes that work there that we know are like, what happened? It's been nothing but negative.
You look like a cop in 1986.
Do I look like John Barron's?
No.
No, he's too short.
Let us know in the comments what does that just look like. Magnum PI? The new boot goofing guy.
Oh, no.
Alright, Ned Flanders, what do you think?
Don't call me that. It'll work. It's good for a floor. I'm going to be testing my gap welding certifications here, but...
Honestly, I think you did a phenomenal job on that. Like, the shaping and everything is perfect.
it'll look really good under carpet.
Yeah.
And sound any.
It'll preserve this car for a big long time.
Yep, speaking of preserving, I've already sprayed the under channel with rust reformer everywhere I could get in there. So that should be nice and
Reformed.
Consider yourself reformed. Didn't even go to prison. We're ready to start tacking this thing in, so let's see how badly we can do with that. Hey. I'm going to tack all the way around this thing with big spaces in between just to make sure I'm not overheating the metal and warping it. And that'll get it right where we want it, and we can fill in the holes as it cools and just chase the beads around. Hey, somebody blew a hole in my ship.
Yeah, that welder doesn't get very cold. I can go down to 25 wire, but we'd have to drive to the town and buy some.
Yeah.
We're already at the bottom of the chart, but I can try to turn it down further. We're guessing at that point. Well, what do you want, eggs in your beer?
Well, I'd like a little more metal in my holes, but you know, can I reshoot that? Well, we've got a few spots that I need to finish up on, specifically the spots that I was, gap welding. So we've got some space here, some spaces here where it was a little thinner and I blew through. So, yeah, I wouldn't want to do this on a hood, but on a floor under carpet, this will be just fine.
It's not fixed, but it's different.
It is very different.
So there's something Angus is running into here, and I can't blame him at all because I would have done the exact same thing. This is a learning process. What we were trying to do is limit the amount of metal we needed to replace, so obviously he made small patches and stuff, and we're also avoiding all these goofy contours that this really curvy floor has. But in doing so, what we've ran into is that the metal we're welding onto, such as that spot right there, is really thin. I suppose the correct answer would have been to cut a good inch or so beyond the rust so that you were welding to the proper gauge metal and not melting through and doing all this ugly stuff that we need to repair yet. But we'll have spots like right here where it welds up phenomenal. We can grind it down and it looks great. And then we'll have spots like here where as soon as you touch it with a welder, you leave a tiny little bead, but you also blow out a 1/16 or an 1/8 inch hole because the metal is just so thin. Look at the thickness of this metal right here versus right here. So, I don't know, hindsight
Hindsight, should have bought a floor pan.
Probably should have cut in whole floor pans. Would have been the way to go.
If I was better at making patches, this wouldn't be such an issue. But I'm not that good at making. We don't have an anvil. We don't have
Anything.
any of that metalworking equipment to make.
We've got a
contour
pliers.
shapes. And I've been using the hell out of those pliers. Well, I'd say that'll hold a foot. Well, that's actually rock solid.
Dude, that was great. Did you even pound a channel into that for the...
I did. It took me most of the day, but I pounded a channel for that stupid wire harness that lays in the GM floorboards.
Dude, I can't even... Like, with the paint on it, you can't even really tell where you did the patches.
I know. Unless you look right at them, then it's painfully obvious. So, good job, Rust-Oleum paint, at covering stuff. There's a lot of crimes going on under. So that pretty much does it for the driver's side of this floor pan. I'm going to move over to the passenger side and rinse and repeat, essentially. I've learned a lot of lessons, so hopefully that'll go faster. Plus, there's less rust on that side, which seems counterintuitive, but I'll take it.
Any lessons to share with the audience? The big takeaway was don't try to cut the little holes out.
No.
Cut the whole damn rusty area out until you get to good metal.
Yep.
That seemed to make things a lot easier for you.
Yep, a lot
Instead
faster.
of those little tiny patches, just whole thing.
Yep, bing, bang, boom.
On to this side.
All right, this is our last patch panel in the whole floor. After we get this one zapped in place, we'll be pretty much done, ready for grinding and painting. This came along pretty well, so let's get it wrapped up. All right, that is all sealed up. Let's hit it with the grinder real quick, and then she'll be ready for paint. Grinding marks are all smoothed out. Time to seal it all in with some rust reformer / paint, just to protect this side. All right, man, that looks really, really different. Looking around, we've got no more holes in the floor. You can almost not tell that I've been in here at all unless you look right at it, which you won't be able to once we start putting an interior in this car. Now let's get to that because I'm tired of looking at this floor. It smells funny in here.
Is that the last of it?
For now, until I find all the spots I missed.
With that, our interior repair work is complete. Angus even has our heater core and everything back in place. I've been cleaning some glass in the meantime. Discovered a bunch of rust in here we should probably deal with yet. Put some Permatex rust eater stuff on that. We'll see what that does. Hopefully we don't have to pull a windshield. But speaking of glass, there is a lesson we just learned. Not sure if you can hear it. All those little clicks. That's all welding slag. So apparently, if you're welding on a floor pan right next to the window, put the window up.
Hindsight makes a lot of sense.
Yep. I'll get a razor blade. Hopefully we can get all that off. But I think that's it for hard learned lessons on this build.
So far.
Yeah, now we start the real hard shit. Headliner, carpet, seat dye, all that.
Yay.
Yay. All right, well, it's been a couple weeks. Angus and I have been all the way to Texas and back and bought a Cougar since this was last on camera. This project, believe it or not, restoration level stuff, taking forever for us to do. Our interior's all done. We're about to set it in the headliner when we noticed, damn, this looks like crap. So we took all the trim off, and sure enough, yeah, we got holes up here. So we're gonna need to pull this windshield out and make all that seal better, because this would have never held any water whatsoever. I mean, it's already separated. So yeah, we got to take the windshield out before we can do a headliner and fix all this. Man, rust is fun, isn't it, Goose?
Yeah, but we're picking away at it.
What the hell are you doing with a guitar?
Picking away at it.
Yeah, here, let me see that quick. Can I borrow that for the windshield?
Well, I guess I'm not using it anymore.
Damn. Not much holding this thing in. Ta-da! We've saved a shitty window.
Yay.
Yay! Yeah, this is gonna be fun to get that thing to reseal.
A lot of glue.
A lot of glue, maybe even a little repair.
Well, we've gone this far. Might as well.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what the damage is. Hey, no trespassing.
You're done already. It's so rusty it just came out, didn't it?
Yep, pretty much, yeah. Thanks for bringing those tools, though.
Absolutely.
Hey, while you're here, what do we do about that?
Junk the car. That's sweet. You have to plug that up with some metal. Actually, I think they might make a patch panel. They certainly make a dash.
It's just the bottom. So far, the sides and top aren't too bad, which is relieving, I guess. We don't have to do the whole thing, just most of it.
Yeah.
You know what? This whole time I forget that our whole trunk floor is rusty.
Does the gas tank stay in?
I have no idea.
There's a guy back home had a red 67 Le Mans, and he had some of the fastest Pontiacs around. He was going over some railroad tracks somewhere, and it was so rough the gas tank fell out on the ground. So he just drove around with it in the trunk, and he just opened the trunk to fill it up. And then back home there was a spot that was a quarter mile, and we went to railroad tracks, and so you'd always see how fast it'd go to that railroad tracks. He was hauling ass that railroad tracks, and a train came by, and he slammed on the brakes, and he lost control, and he rolled it into the ditch. So he and the other guy, they get out, and they flip that car back up onto the wheels, and they take off towards home about a mile, turn at the cemetery, and a wheel flew off, and he rolled it again. He rolled the thing twice.
In a mile.
In a mile.
Holy shit. Oh, well, let's hope we don't do that.
I think that's a good goal to aspire to.
Everybody's got to have a goal.
Yeah, everybody's got to have dreams.
Yeah, speaking of dreams, ours are quickly fading, huh?
What was our dream? Have the interior done by the end of this video?
Yeah, have anything done by the end of this video.
If we had said we want it to be different by the end of this video, we'd be well on our way.
Alright, let's make a plan for this thing. We need to reel in our expectations or decide to go balls to the walls on this. Yeah, they called it the judge. They should have called it the duck. This bitch be quacking.
The duck be angry.
It really does sound like a duck now. Alright, so, as you can see, Angus and I have chosen a direction. We're still going to stick to our original plan. This car can be restored at any point if we do everything inside, so there's no interior work. The windshield doesn't have to come out, the back glass doesn't have to come out, they can all stay sealed, and then on any random Tuesday, any time forward of here, we can be like, hey, let's do all the bodywork on the outside, and then boom, restored car. So to accomplish that, we're going to take our fenders off and properly fix all this. I don't know if I really showed it on camera, but
We'll have a pretty good view of it here in a minute.
yeah, a couple quacks from now, we'll be able to take a good quack at it. Oh,
It's there, that's all it takes.
yeah. Wow, we have the most disassembled GTO of the bunch now. We've already pressure washed this, painted it, and everything. We're still finding freaking mouse nests everywhere. Look at all that. So yeah, this is why we've taken the fender off. Angus, would you like to demonstrate by sticking your beloved toes through there?
I was wondering if you were going to ask me that. I'll use my hand toes just for monetization's sake.
Whee! Yeah, that's not exactly what you want. So we need to make ourselves a patch for this right here. And I think since this has been cut up to fit a 69 dash already, and our entire window channel is not looking super happy, you could probably urethane a windshield into it, but
Back on that thread of we want to make sure the inside is ready to go so we can just do
Yeah.
a restoration at any point.
And if it's worth doing,
It's worth doing right.
it's worth doing right. Not a pull bar garage episode here.
No, for some reason we care about this car
We don't have a title for this.
for this judge.
All right, well, let's get all this cleaned up and prepare for a little more metal work. All right, that side's off, and in the classic flavor of while we're here, might as well take this side off. This side looks actually really good. But this will let us get to painting the frame and stuff a lot better, because apparently we care about that now.
Where did all the room in our shop go?
I don't know. This
Ezra,
car-
come get your Cadillac.
Well, also, this car exploded and disassembled, way bigger than just a car assembled.
Yeah, it's weird. Off to
Place it.
stage forward. What's the definition of frame off restoration?
About 8 or 12 more bolts, I think.
Well, I'm starting to think we're not going to have the interior done by the end of this video.
I'm starting to think you're right. I think we're once again reaching that point where we're at an equilibrium of, do we budget this car together? Or do we go balls out and build a badass car like we did on the Bonneville?
I mean, with the facts, that's
that just
wrong.
collapse?
Yeah, that's not good anymore.
I'll tell you what, let's do this. You keep following the rust and seeing where that ends. I'm gonna make a couple phone calls and we'll see how far into this we get.
Hi, Greasegate Cat.
Hello, Dave from QA1. Question for you. Hello, David Butler of Butler Performance. How are you today? Dave, Summit Racing. How are you doing today? So far, things are looking good.
Well, that's exciting.
It is.
Because the rust is looking worse and worse.
All right, well, let me see if I can make a contact at Ames Performance. I'm going to go on a limb and say their name is probably Dave. Everybody in the automotive industry is apparently named Dave.
Dave Ames of Ames Performance.
Yeah, I should just email Dave at amesperformanceengineering.com.
Thank you for calling Ames Performance Engineering, the nation's largest supplier of classic Pontiac parts.
Hi, yeah, do you have a Dave? Our cool entrance. Yeah, so, things may have gotten a little out of hand.
This is the worst go-kart I've ever seen.
It's a goat cart. So, to say the least, the phone calls I made yesterday went very well with our sponsors. We're going to build this into one badass, fully restored GTO. Judge. People have been wanting to see it for years. They wanted us to do a frame-off restoration. I've avoided it because it's a ton of work and a ton of money. But we got a bunch of sponsors that are coming on board to help with this. And I think between the three of us, you, me, and Tom, this car's really in pretty good shape. It's a pretty good starting point. I think we could realistically knock this out in a couple months worth of work. But as for this episode, we're going to wrap things up right here. And when we come back next time, we're going to be stripping down this frame, sending it off for powder coat, pulling the drive line out, and sending the body off to Tom's to do a bunch of body work. And then after that, it'll be time for a built Butler motor, a 5-speed, a 9-inch in the rear, QA1 all the way around, pipes, exhaust, you name it. This is going to be one bitchin' build. So if you guys want to see that, make sure you subscribe right here to the channel, because this is going to take a little time. We're going to take this all the way from barn fine to full-blown burnouts. Hope you guys enjoyed. Best way to support the channel is to check out the merch at junkyarddigs.com. We'll see you right here next week. Peace.
Are you sure we had to do all this to replace a headliner?
No, this is just what it takes to get all the mouse stink out of the car.